movement, the first thing was just awareness, right? So like when you look at a buying cycle, there's awareness, consideration, and then purchase. I knew I needed to spend at least 2 years with just awareness, making a video every single day about a topic I thought was interesting. Now, talking head videos get boring, but some guys can pull them off, where it's just you in front of your camera talking about a thing. And that's where your delivery just has to be super unique. The analogies you use, the reference points.
Your research has to be on point.
Yeah.
Ben Greenfield does this very well.
Yeah, you gotta pull it off. And so that was my first thing, was I'm just gonna get brand awareness and get out there. And then I used the internet as distribution. So there are thousands of Facebook groups that are CrossFit affiliate owners in South Africa, CrossFit affiliate owners in Connecticut. I joined them all. And then I would use those channels as distribution. And I would go in and I would share, hey guys, I had some thoughts about a thing. Here are my thoughts written out in long form, but here's also a video I made, check it out. And I slowly started to develop this reputation. And so that was kind of the concentration. Now it's a lot different. This year, 2019, so I wanted to double my content production from last year, but I wanted to switch it up. I wanted to see, can I make the sheep follow me, right? Can I direct my audience? My audience is mainly on Facebook. That's where a lot of gym owners are. Can I get them over to YouTube? Could I grow an audience on YouTube in 2 years that rivals my audience on Facebook? And so I started with a vlog. So now it's just vlog 3 days a week. That is the only new content I really upload, is a 3-day-a-week vlog, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, to YouTube. So now it's, can I take the people who are accustomed to watching me on Facebook and put them there? Now,
I take you have way more subscribers on YouTube than on, say, Apple or Spotify podcasts, or what does that look like?
No, the YouTube is probably the smallest, because I just started doing that at the end of January. So YouTube is still a super small subscriber count. Lots of views, and that's one of the things on YouTube that's interesting, how many views you get versus actually people who subscribe. And that's always what you're trying to match up. You'll get, the last video got 5,000 views. I don't have 5,000 subscribers on YouTube, kind of scenario. But and so now the content strategy now is a little more focused. Each day is a little bit more of a story, and that gets it into there. Whereas with the other one, I was just like, hey, what's the topic for today? Oh, cancellations. Fuck it, set the camera up. I'm just going to talk on cancellations. But now here's the great thing. We post 7 to 9 videos. We have 380 some videos in circulation on Facebook. I've made over 382 videos.
Wow.
And we post 7 to 9 a day. So Leah, who does all the media management for, Leah, for What the Fuck Gym Talk, she just schedules reruns. So again, I post 7 to 9 times a day on What the Fuck Gym Talk. And
how often do you push that out through the different channels, Instagram and Facebook?
Yeah, so Instagram will come up. Instagram generally is more, I use Instagram more as to push to the vlog, to grow the vlog, and just daily muses, just daily thoughts, shit like that. Post one-off videos, things like that. But Facebook is just kind of like a channel now that lives with reruns. So it's always new to somebody. There's someone who has not seen all 382 fucking videos, and as those things cycle, like, oh my god, that video was so good you just made. I'm like, dude, I made that 2 years ago, but thank you. I really appreciate that. If you want the new shit, correct. If you want the new shit, go check out the vlog. But yeah, so that for me, that's where it was just brand awareness, and then once I created and 382 videos is honestly not that many fucking videos when you really think about it. And then now it's just re-engagement and creating those, and then I look at them, and if there's any ones I'm like, I change my thesis on that, I pull that video, and I reshoot a new one.
Cool. Very cool. And between the different channels, which do you think give you the best engagement, and also which ones bring out the most trolls?
Yeah, YouTube. So I started fucking with Reddit.
Okay.
Like I've never.
I love Reddit. By the way,
I've never messed with Reddit. Torito got me on Reddit, right?
My problem with Reddit is I need to be ready to lose 3 hours of my life.
Oh, you need to be ready for it, but the amount of hate that you will get on Reddit is insane. It's the platform you can only post in the very beginning until your karma points get up. I'm having to learn a new platform. And I'm trying to see how if I can siphon it. It's been crazy. Like just in the past 4 days, I think I've grown by like 500 subscribers, and I'm 100,000%. They are all from Reddit, where 90% of the feedback was hate. Okay. So again, people will subscribe and watch.
And do you still read the negative comments?
Oh yeah, I do, and I don't get upset or anything. I think it's more humorous than anything else.
Sure.
But yeah, no, because any comment is a good comment to me.
So I noticed that you like to simultaneously record video.
Yeah.
Even if it's for a podcast that you're doing. Can you talk about that? How you figured it out? Why you do it?
Yeah, it just
motivating factor is.
So I spent 2 years where I had videographers, guys who would film me, very daily V aspect, D-Rock kind of style, having a videographer follow you around, and that was dope. But there wasn't enough speed. Meaning I could have an idea like, fuck, I want to shoot this right now, and Chris can't be here for another 2 hours or whatever, or he has other projects and editing is going to take him 4 days to get the fucking edit.
I saw him over at the Level office today, so that's probably taking up some of his time.
Oh yeah, a little bit, since I lost him to Level. So anyway, having the videographer was great, and it taught me a lot of things, and I'm like, fuck, I'm going to start the vlog. I'm going to start doing all the creation and content editing and all that stuff myself. With that, just like we're doing right here, right now, I started doubling up. So what I can do is I can record with a video, a podcast. I can take that audio, throw it out onto Anchor, and spread my podcast. I can then take that video and publish that video to Facebook or YouTube or whatever I want. And then I can go to rev.com and send them the audio file. And for $1 a minute, they'll transcribe the entire thing into written word. And then I can make a blog post out of that. So I can get 3 pieces of content for one attempt, one single attempt. And rev.com is an amazing thing. So back in the day, I used to do a lot of SRT files, which are the captions, right? When you watch a video and you can't have the sound on, it's really helpful to have captions. Fortunately for my audience, they're all business owners. Majority of my audience is able to listen to the audio because they're inside their own business.
Sure.
If I was trying to get Bank of America people 9 to 5, I would have to have those SRT files on there so they can read the captions because they're not always able to listen to the fucking audio in the middle of a cubicle.
Yep.
So it's knowing your audience kind of thing. So I don't do as much of the written form. I kind of walked away. I've literally had people be like, are you going to write a book? Like, no. And they're like, why? I'm like, it would take me too long. I can make another 382 videos in the time it would take me to write a book, and I'll reach more people. And can you imagine if you had to read the things I say? Because I type like I talk.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I literally type like I talk. Listen here, fuckface. And people would be like, this guy's just an asshole.
Yeah.
Tone and delivery are so important.
Yeah.
So video is the best medium for me.
Excellent. What would you tell 20-year-old Stu just starting that first gym out of the back of the truck?
Yeah, you know what?
Knowing what you know now.
I would tell him to do everything the exact same that he did. Don't change a thing. I would tell him to document. I would tell him, I wish I could have been recording this back then, and having that footage of me going out there every morning at 6 a.m. in the morning, hauling out the shitty fucking Craigslist equipment I had.
Sure. It would have been a lot more expensive, and storage would have been pricey, but certainly there must have been a way to do it.
Yeah, just document that process. I think being able to tell that story even better and show people. I found an old video, it's on Vimeo. I had one video production company come out when I was ESC Mobile Fitness. This was even before the boot camp.
Okay.
This would just go around
the ESC.
The ESC Mobile Fitness, right? And I would have I'd have this videographer come out one time, and he filmed the boot camp I did at a local apartment complex we partnered with. And to watch that video now, it is absolutely amazing. I'm trudging through a parking lot with all this equipment, and I'm you could tell I'm awkward on camera, and it
probably still had glasses.
I think I was wearing sunglasses probably, but it was really it's really insightful. That's the one thing I wish I would have done more is documenting that entire process and telling that story.
Interesting, very interesting. Why do you think we brushed on it earlier, but why do you think it is that CrossFit took off the way that it did? I mean, is it the competitive? Is it the fact that they boil down to a single score and you write it on the whiteboard and someone can win every single time, even beat the athlete that's better than them in 9 other things?
I think when a market's been untouched for so long, any new development is going to catch like wildfire. Taxis were the only thing in the market forever. Mm-hmm. Uber, I think the reason it exploded is because there had been no disruption to that. Taxi Magic was an app that came out and it sucked. There were some other taxi hailing apps, but Uber shows up and it is such a disruptive thing. Obviously, it plays on the desire of more time and convenience, but I think it's also just because that market had not been touched. Mm-hmm. The gym market had Global Gym, Gold's Gym, World's Gyms, Lifetime Fitness.
Well, the biggest thing at the time was probably P90X,
P90X
right?
and Insanity. Again, at home convenience, do these kind of things. And I used to brand anchor when I would explain CrossFit. I'd say it's like P90X, but instead of jumping around your living room like a fucking idiot, you get to work out with an awesome group of people and you have a coach that actually teaches you how to use barbells and pull-up bars and all this stuff. I think it was just a huge disruption to something that had not been disrupted in a very, very long time. Mm-hmm. And I think you'll always give more of yourself in the presence of others. You'll never, ever break the social aspect of a group fitness class. I don't think we're all going to have VR goggles on and Oculus and just start working out at our houses. I think that shit's going to work for sitting courtside at a Cavs game or something like that instead, but not for fitness. These social experiments like bars and restaurants and nightlife and all that kind of stuff, I think we're safe with those social experiences. But
I'd rather watch the Cavs game on VR.
Yeah, you're
than where they are right now.
100%. Yeah, it's a little. Yeah, maybe they can actually make it so we win a few games. If we get Zion though, that would be great in the lottery. But listen, so yes, I think that's why. I think CrossFit just came out with, oh my god, I do my pull-ups. And then I run, and I come back, and I have to do strength work, and then I have to do cardio again.
Sure.
I think it was just that in that interaction, slap on some cool community shit, and that's the magic right there.
Excellent. And when you started when you first decided to become a CrossFit affiliate, can you maybe just talk about that decision to embrace the brand?
So 2000.
Because it wasn't a no-brainer back then. It was a no-brainer in 2012, 2013, 2014. But
I watched my first CrossFit video, and I instantly knew what I was going to do. I saw it, and I'm an early adopter. I knew I was going to open up a CrossFit gym. I saw my first video early 2006, if not late 2005. And I was doing an internship in Nashville, Tennessee at a Velocity Sports Performance. And this internship was for the NSC, the National Strength and Conditioning Association, to become what you call a CSCS, a Certified Strength and Conditioning Coach. Very highly held certification. And that gym was also at the time CrossFit Nashville. And I was the intern, 40 hours a week unpaid. And they're like, listen here, bitch. You're going to do some CrossFit classes with these other kids. These young
Did you already
kids.
know how to do a ring muscle up at this point?
No.
Okay.
It took me 3 months at that gym, like that first summer, bled from my wrist like stigmata. And eventually, I remember taking the rings. I bought one pair of rings. I took them back to school. I still hadn't accomplished it. I hung them from the fucking the field goal post at our football field in college. Got my first ring muscle up inside of a stadium where nobody was around, and I just stayed up there because I wanted somebody to see me.
That you should have recorded.
I know, exactly. That would have been amazing. But yeah, no, I saw it, and I watched this workout. It was them doing a bear complex. It was a barbell complex. Power clean to front squat to thruster, put it on your back squat it.
I've done that.
Behind the neck push press, get it back up. And I was like, I've never done that with a barbell in my life. Now again, back in the day, and I don't know, if you ever find my college Stu Brower Facebook account, it's on deep lockdown. I should have majored in anabolic chemistry. I was about 215 pounds,
oh, really?
Very big with a mohawk, and I was in the business of selling products that would give people a competitive advantage in the weight room back in the day. And so I was a much bigger human being than I am now.
Okay.
I looked like an idiot. My frame is that this is like 185 to 90 pounds right here. I'm not meant to have 215. Okay.
Yeah.
And a mohawk, I look like an asshole. But anyway, with the steroids and all that, that was my thing. Is I was as strong as I probably was ever going to be, or so I thought.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did one of these bear complexes. It crushed me.
Sure.
With 135 pounds, which to me back then I could probably was curling that. Like it was nothing. And I said, oh my God, this is it. I'm sold. I can see instantly how if I did this with a bunch of my buddies, I would do this forever. And so I just dropped it. I stopped selling gear that day. I stopped taking drugs, and I instantly went all in on it. And that was 2006, man, and I never looked back. And that's the business model and everything. So.
That's cool. That's cool. You really had some vision there, because again, I think for folks listening, CrossFit is everywhere now, but 06,
you had to explain to people what it was, but that was also the allure to it.
Mm-hmm.
You knew something somebody didn't. There's nothing's cooler in the world than when you have to tell somebody some knowledge that only you have. I've got this secret. Let me tell you about it. And now I think that's where it's a little bit tougher with the CrossFit realm. Everyone just already has a predisposed opinion about it that may be completely inaccurate, but it doesn't matter. Perception is fucking reality.
Well, let's talk about that for a second. Why would someone opening a gym today, a microgym today, why in your mind should they consider a CrossFit gym?
I would do it like this. I believe CrossFit gyms will continue to be successful if you stay true to the product. Mm-hmm. So if you can be there, you can be what I call an unapologetic CrossFit brand. Meaning you offer CrossFit, you advertise it, you don't try to hide it, you don't run these 6-week challenges.
You own it. Yep.
Yeah, you own it 100%. I believe you can be successful. The economics have to be stronger. Mm-hmm. You need to charge appropriately. You need to do PT first, in my opinion, because you have to have multiple revenue streams, because you're not going to have that many people. Unfortunately, I don't care. Even New York City, Atlanta, Chicago, LA, those crazy dense markets, maybe, because you're going to be able to play volume. You could have 400 members at a location. But for the majority, and I call like Charlotte like a second-tier metropolitan area, the density's not high enough here. I think it's going to be difficult to make a gym that's doing $70,000 a month.
Well, you've got 3. If you count this as a CrossFit gym, 3 within a 3-block radius right here. And all 3 very good gyms.
Great, yeah. And so the saturation here, even in Charlotte, is decent. I don't even think it's too saturated. Atlanta is a crazy saturated market. There's more CrossFit gyms square footage in Atlanta than there is New York City.
Wow.
Yeah, Atlanta is nuts. Yeah. So I would tell them, sure, you can do it. You just better own it. And I believe the thing is you have to make it a modern day gym. The old warehouse thing is not going to fly. You have to make sure, like, if your floor is fucked up, it can't be fucked up. If your bathrooms are gross, they can't be gross. Like,
you and Eric really changed the game here in Charlotte on that, because it was warehouses that didn't
100%.
Look like this, or stacks before urban movement.
100,000%. Like when Eric moved, I remember I was doing upfitting. I got here super early one day, and I'm looking at, this was all just like roughed in drywall, and Eric came up, and we were just shooting the shit and just talking about like what Stacks was doing, what I was doing, and how like it was just gonna set the bar. And like you look at places like we have like Block. You heard of Block?
I have not.
Block is a small little microgym. It opened up down next to Toast on Park Road in Dilworth.
Okay, yeah.
You go in there, it's a little group fitness center, and coffee shop on the front, and like again, like things like what Eric's done to the poshness of Stacks. And like Eric, you ask him now, he'll tell you this: the reason he has a spin studio is because I was putting a spin studio in here. Like we talked about it, he said, well, fuck it, now I gotta put spin bikes in there.
That's funny.
But like good brands will feed off each other's inspiration, and I truly see what everybody does. But I think for a CrossFit gym, like you can't, if a CrossFit gym wants to be a CrossFit gym, don't put a spin studio in, don't put a coffee shop in. Make it a really nice, the best CrossFit experience you can do. Find out what everyone expects from a CrossFit experience, write that down, do it better than anybody, and then do the shit they're not expecting. That is a CrossFit gym that will survive. If you don't have that aspiration, I think you got to find the white space. Somewhere in between what Orange Theory does, high volume.
Well, that's my next question. Why shouldn't somebody open a CrossFit gym? Not exactly what
you're answering. Because they don't own the brand. You don't own the word CrossFit. Just like I didn't own the word CrossFit or the word South End. I literally was sitting here saying, look at me, Stuart Brower, look what I made. And I don't own any of that. If Greg Glassman was found to be the Jerry Sandusky of 2020, what would I do?
Papa John's, right?
Yeah. Would I have to shut that? Would I have to take the name CrossFit off of it? Would I be like, how would that impact my brand? So I wanted to create something that nobody can fuck up urban movement for me, and I will, when this thing is successful, I'll be able to sit back and say, it wasn't Greg Glassman, it wasn't Rich Froning, it wasn't the word CrossFit. I built this motherfucker, and nobody is to blame for the wins and losses except for the business owner.
Sure, very interesting. Let's take that same theme and apply it to an athlete. Why should an athlete start CrossFit, and why shouldn't they?
Again, because CrossFit is more of a blueberry muffin recipe than it is a piece of software. It is uniquely different every single place you go. I think if you find a location that really treats CrossFit as a GPP, what we call general physical preparation, it's great for an athlete. It will, because as an athlete, whether you're a long jumper, a football player, Muay Thai, whatever it is,
rock climber,
you're going to naturally have increased capacity around your sport, which requires you to have decreased capacity around everything else. The lineman in football is going to be very powerful and explosive and strong. He's going to lack cardiovascular endurance and anything outside of a 10-second window.
Probably not much mobility either.
Yeah, not a lot of mobility. You'd be surprised in those college guys how loose their hip, how mobile their hips are. But so yes, I believe a general physical preparation program is great for any athlete to just bring up some of those deficits. However, if you were trying to be some of the best in the world at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or rock climbing or whatever it is, I think you just stick with that. I don't think doing CrossFit is your mainstay. Like maybe do it a couple days a week or something like that. The risk to reward ratio is not there. Like again, if you're a rock climber, do not kip.
Yeah.
Don't be doing 75 kipping pull-ups in a Y, because your shoulders are your bloodline. It's your lifeline. If you injure your shoulder, you're fucked. Same thing with some of these sports. I get the guys, dancers. Like everyone's always like, I want to get the Hornets dancers in my gym. I'm like, yeah, man, and if they do a box jump wrong and they pop an Achilles or they sprain their ankle fucking turning the corner on a 400 meter, their chance is fucking gone.
Yeah.
The risk to reward just, and like Kobe Bryant, it was a really good interview. He is the best plyometrics coach in the world. He will not let him do more than 7 box jumps per set.
Wow.
Because box jumps are meant to be explosive. They're supposed to leave you, each rep should leave you winded and scared that you weren't going to make the jump. They're more like 1 rep maxes.
Okay.
But what do we turn them into the CrossFit? Cardio.
Yeah.
We turn them into cardio. Like, I'm just a little fucking bunny over here.
It's funny you say that. Eric and I were talking to Roman Harper trying to get him to come work out at the CrossFit gym.
Not a chance.
And he's like, fuck no, I tackle people for a living.
Not a chance.
Yeah.
And that's why you don't see fucking the Cam Newtons of the world going and working out and doing CrossFit classes. Oh, it'll make them better athletes. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, and again, here's the level of knowledge the average CrossFit gym owner has. That's the one thing too. If you're going to open a CrossFit gym or a fitness thing, make sure you're actually a fitness professional. Like, going and getting your level 1 is a great certification. I would recommend it for anyone who's even, like, I think you would love it, John. I think you would love the learning experience of taking a level 1.
I've thought a lot about that.
I think
actually.
you should. And for $1,000, there's no better learning experience, in my opinion. It does not entitle you to go and open a facility and then start dictating fitness to 100+ people.
Well, you've got a degree or two in this stuff.
I did. Like, again, this is all I've ever done. When I was 14 years old, being a skinny fucking ginger kid, trying to get laid in high school, I had to get in the weight room. I played lacrosse. I would get my ass trucked. So I would read about Mel Siff. I would read about, I would do starting strength. I researched everything. Super training, all the Arnold shit, from bodybuilding to powerlifting, Mark Rippetoe, everything in between. I became a disciple and a student of it. So people ask, how long have you been doing this? I'm like, 15, since I was 15 years old, and I'm 33 now. I consider that entire time part of my educational process. School, like my 5 years of college, because I took a victory lap and got my degree.
I took 6. And I wasn't a doctor or a lawyer.
So actually, I was partying in college more than I was learning. So but yeah, that would be my recommendation. If you're not going to open one, it's because you want control of your brand, and you do not have that with CrossFit.
Cool. So are you following the changes and kind of the drama going on around the games with the affiliate events, the layoffs, all of that? Can you comment on that, or do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I just did a huge awesome response video. Craig Ritchie, who is a very famous YouTube vlogger, and Greg Glassman sat down and had an interview where Craig drilled Glassman on these changes about going away from the sport of CrossFit to this CrossFit health. So those of your listeners who are not aware, CrossFit, obviously, if you guys are thinking of it, you think of this kind of very competitive, high-end shirtlet, like this very raw, aggressive sport and fitness program. And now if you go to CrossFit's.com's website, you see an old man deadlifting jugs of water inside of a living room that looks like it's off the set of Married with Children.
Sure.
And so they're really trying to dial back into health. They fired a lot of media staff for the games. They want to downscale the games, and here's why. The CrossFit as a company has several core focuses. 2 of them are profitability and increased health. The games did neither. The games were not profitable. And they did not increase anybody's health. When you compete at the games, it is well aware you are not healthier, you are only fitter. You are actually less healthy as a competitor. So they're not profitable by any means of the imagination. And 70% of the income, or 70% of the expenses, discretionary. Shit that's not required, just as a nice to have. Makes for a fun experience.
Well, it's interesting. There's a trade-off, and I think a lot about, because it feels like from the outside looking in, what Glassman is also saying is, I don't want to discourage people from the health aspects. And when they see somebody overhead squatting 315 pounds,
they say, I can't do that.
I can't possibly do that, which is very similar. And I want you to speak a little bit about that, because I've heard similar reasoning in some of the changes you've made at Urban. But the flip side of that is my wife, who doesn't care about fitness whatsoever, or going into a gym and that type of thing. She loves watching the games because she gets to see these insane things. So can the two coexist?
I believe so. I believe, again, what you can't do now, they are not rebranding CrossFit. They are having to walk back because they did dual branding. Right? It's like there's football and there's the NFL.
But it has the same name, so it confuses the fuck out of everybody.
Again, going back to this thing, anyone can play football. 0.0001% go to the NFL, right? But then you have CrossFit. Anyone can do CrossFit. Oh, and CrossFit's also this annual sport that we do. So that dual branding, I think, really got, kind of fucked them, so they're having to backtrack a little bit. I believe that when you look at the game, according to Glassman in that interview, the games became the sideshow, the non-profitable sideshow that wasn't pursuing the mission of making people healthier. The sideshow will still exist. Your wife will still be able to watch the games. However, they're going to leave it to those with the entrepreneurial spirit and the desire to push the games. So when they got rid of regionals, guess what happened? 7 companies were formed in a matter of months of people who are opportunistic entrepreneurs. They're like, I could put on this event. I would love to do it. And they go ahead and they create a company or a co-op, and they go and petition and they pitch it to CrossFit, and then boom, there's the Mid-Atlantic, sanction or whatever.
Is Rogue playing in this space as well? Because it seems like a natural extension for them to kind of pick up part of that.
I think, obviously with all the work they've done, hauling equipment out and setting up for it, they probably learned a ton. I know they're doing the Rogue Invitational at the Arnold. I'm not sure. My guess is they would just stay niche down because their business is a very low margin business anyway. It's tough, man. Like fucking having all that inventory. They've got the 2 warehouse. They got 2 locations in the U.S. and they opened that one up in Amsterdam. I think it's Amsterdam in the U.K.
Yeah.
I can't imagine they're wanting to fucking pile on event hosting and like it's that kind of thing. They just want
their name attached to like
pay us
Reebok
and
or
we'll bring out the equipment kind of scenario. But yeah, no, I think those will still exist. However, though, here's the nice thing, though, the line in the sand. You and me have mutual friends that are on this bubble of I might maybe one day possibly make it to the regionals or whatever level, maybe on a team or as a person, right? Like, I really like the fact that this change has drawn that line in the sand so thick to sit down, Sally, you have a 9-to-5 job working at Bank of America. There is no way in hell you are ever going to touch the fucking podium because everyone who's going to touch the podium, their 9-to-5 job is training. You want to do this so bad, quit your fucking job at Bank of America and create a 30 for 30 story right here and right fucking now and train full time for the games. Well, you can't do that. Then shut the fuck up. You have a fitness program in front of you. Yeah. Opt into that. You are not an athlete. I hate using this word athlete on people, and I used to use it back in the day with you and everyone else. And then I looked around and I had people who would cry after workouts. Regular people who did not show up at a CrossFit South End's door saying, "Hi, my name is Sally and I would love to learn how to snatch and be competitive." And they just said, "I'm here because I heard it's a great workout." And then fast forward 6 months and they're drinking the Kool-Aid, they're doing keg stands with it. And I have women, girls and men, who are crying in my office after a bad performance on a random Tuesday workout.
Yeah.
Because they didn't PR or another girl beat them or something.
That's always been so silly to me. My theory has always been I don't give a fuck about being able to do a snatch. I do care about muscle. There's certain moves that I like, but it's all about looking better naked.
Let's be
honest.
100%. That's all I want to do is be able to look better naked, be able to beat up my daughter's boyfriends, and I just want to enjoy the workout. But when the workout causes more stress in my life because I didn't beat somebody in Germany or something like that, or the other dude in class got a higher score than me, like fuck off.
I love when guys in the class that might be a little, haven't been doing as long as I, and they beat me, that's great. And I love when there's a guy ahead of me and I can catch him.
You need a rabbit.
But you getting upset about it, some people just are that way.
Yeah, so that was one of the things that I just really think taking the competitive aspect and drawing that big line in the sand will take some people and do like, well, all right, I guess this is more realistic for it not to happen, but I can still enjoy it just like you and me can. You and me can join a pickup basketball league and be super competitive about basketball, but we realize we're not going to the NFL.
Sure. Very interesting.
Or NBA, sorry.
Yeah, exactly.